What's up, everybody? It's Kolestar11 coming at you with a Paleozoic Toad deck that I've had made for a very long time, and it's probably one of my favorite decks. If y'all will, hit that like and subscribe button. Deck building is probably one of my favorite hobbies that I have, and it's probably one of my favorite passions, so I'm going to be coming out with a lot more here soon. Alright guys, we're going to start off with the Toad engine. I run 3 Ronin Totems. This cannot be used as synchro material. The name becomes Death Frog while it's on the field. If this card is in the graveyard, you can banish 1 frog from your graveyard and special summon this monster. Ronin Totem is an essential part of the Toad engine because the 9-card Toad engine of the deck, for every Toad that you have in the graveyard, if you have a Ronin Totem, you have an instant level 2 summon because you banish the other frog and you summon him out. The next 3 are the Swap Frogs. The Swap Frogs is another level 2. You can discard 1 water monster or special summon this card from your hand. When this card is summoned, you can select and send 1 level 2 or lower aqua type water monster from your deck to your side of the field to the graveyard. Once per turn, you can return 1 monster you control to your hand. Normal summon 1 frog monster except Swap Frog or Frog the Jam in addition to your normal summon set this turn. Swap Frog is pretty much the engine part of the Toads. He helps catalyst Ronin Totem. He feeds Ronin Totem. He also feeds Duke Frog. He's probably the most essential part. You want to see him as soon as possible in your opening hand because he helps you get access to all your other frogs. Now the next frogs are Duke Frogs, 3 Duke Frogs, and that completes the 9 frogs. This name becomes Death Frog while it's face up on the field. Your opponent cannot select another monster as an attack target. When this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add 1 frog monster except Duke Frog or Frog the Jam from your deck or graveyard to your hand. So he helps get frogs back into your hand. And pretty much, if you have 2 of them out on the field, it creates a lock for your opponent so he can't attack. Alright guys, that rounds off the Toad Frog aspect of the deck, but we can't forget that Paleozoic Toads are trap decks, so I run 2 Absolute King Blackjacks. Pretty much, while this card's in the graveyard, you can banish it to see your top card on your deck, and if it is a trap card, you can set it to your side of the field, and you can activate it this turn. When this card is sent to the graveyard, though, you can excavate the top 3 cards of your deck and put them in any order. So your combo with this card will be either have it in the graveyard to activate its second effect to chance it, or you have it face down on the field, you let your opponent attack. Since it has 0 defense, it's going to get sent to the graveyard. You excavate the top 3, you find the trap card, you put the trap card on top, then you banish it during your opponent's next turn, and you get to set that trap card to your side of the field. The next engine that I've found that works really well in the deck is the Artifact engine. Now, if anybody is familiar with the artifacts, you can actually set these cards, these monster cards, in your spell and trap zone. Now, if your opponent destroys these cards, if they Twin Twister, if they MST these cards, they come back as monsters, level 5 special summons. Moral Tech, pretty much whenever he gets destroyed and sent to the graveyard, as soon as he comes back, you can select 1 face-up card your opponent controls, and you can destroy it. Artifact Scythe, pretty much whenever he comes back, your opponent can't special summon any more monsters during that turn from the extra deck. All 4 of these artifacts are level 5s, so they actually go together with Constellar, Pleiades, and Plotomy, which I have in the extra deck. You'll see those later. They're level 5 light monsters. They're just really good to have, and with everybody running back row targeters like Twin Twister and MST nowadays, a lot of people fall for the trap that they hit the artifacts and oh no, it comes back as a level 5, and they have great effects. I find 4 is a great number to have. Moral Tech and Scythe are probably the best of the artifacts. The next card is pretty much up to your preference, but I actually have 2 in the side deck and I run 1 in my deck at all times. It's the Barrier Statue of the Torrent. No monsters can be special summoned except for water monsters. It's a level 4 water, and it goes along with every card in this deck, and it's great at locking down your opponent, especially if they're not expecting it, and you have aquarium stage up and you just have all these cards that protect your water monsters, and then you throw a barrier statue into the mix, it really has a way of messing up your opponent's day. Alright, that's all the monsters for the deck. Now the spell cards, we're going to go with a Foolish Burial. Foolish Burial, select one monster from your deck and send it to the graveyard. You mainly use Absolute King Blackjack. Pot of Duality and Pot of Desires for your draw power. A Monster Reborn to get back from your graveyard. A Hand Destruction to get rid of cards in your hand. Aquarium Stage to protect your water monsters. Also, whenever it gets destroyed, you get to special summon one water monster from your graveyard. I run one Aquarium Stage in my deck at all times, and I have one in my side deck, along with an Aquarium set. And the moment we all have all been waiting for, the Paleozoic count. I run 2 Morello, which is pretty much your Foolish Burial. I keep it at 2 because at 3 it bricks, and you don't want to be sending... You don't have so many traps in the deck. You really want to keep this at 2 just to keep your Paleozoics rounded off. Next is your MST of the Paleozoics, Paleozoic Olenides. Target one spell or trap card on the field and destroy it. This card is actually great to use against your own artifacts. I find myself doing that a lot. Paleozoic Canadia. Target one face-up monster your opponent controls. Change it to face-down defensive position. This is your Book of Moon. I run this one at 2. These are probably the most important Paleozoics you'll have. Morella at 2, Olidus at 3, and then Canada at 3, and then 1 Dynamiscus. And you want to keep Dynamiscus at 1 because it's a hard trade-off. Target one face-up card on the field, discard 1 card, and if you do, banish it. It's a very difficult card to... you give up a lot just for a little, pretty much. I have a lot of arguments about Dynamiscus and people wanting to run more. If you want to run more, sure, fine. And because I run Pot of Desires, I run 2 Paleozoic Linkulas. Target 1 banished card, return it to the graveyard. The reason I run 2 is because of Pot of Desires, like I said. And you want to keep it like that because whenever you banish cards, like Ronin Totem and Swap Frog, you really need Ronin Totem back, or you need more frogs back. And Linkula actually helps you take care of that. He kind of keeps everything in check, and let's say your opponent banishes one monster that you really need. Linkula will help you get it back. Keep in mind that all the Paleozoics run off your other traps as well. I run 1 Solemn Judgment and 1 Solemn Warning, 1 Storming Mirror Force, and 1 of my favorite cards, Bad Aim. I love Bad Aim because you can actually use this card against your artifacts or against any card on the field, pretty much. Torrential Tribute, Lost Wind, which is completely underrated for this deck, but I love it. Compulsory Evacuation Device, and then Breakthrough Skill. And I find myself using Breakthrough Skill a lot, guys. Probably one of my favorite cards in the deck. 1 Reckless Greed for your draw power, and to get more of a boost on your first turn. And then the last 2 Artifact Sanctums to go with the Artifact Engine. Alright, and that rounds off the traps, guys. We're going to go into the extra decks. So, here we go. I run 2 Mistar Boys for your link cards. He's really easy to get out. All he needs is 2 water monsters, and you'll be constantly summoning water monsters the whole time you're playing this deck. Alright, guys, here's the flagship card. 3 Totally Awesomes. This is your negate, this is your baby, and it looks like he is tossing his salad. Yes, you need 2 level 2 Aqua type monsters. 2 frogs, 2 Paleozoics. Pretty much, he's your powerhouse card, guys. You're gonna you'll detach from him to summon a frog. And if you have him out on the field during your opponent's turn, if any effect is activated, you can actually negate it using any water monster on the field, including himself. Whenever he gets sent to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 water monster from your graveyard. Totally Awesome is probably my favorite card. He goes with the toads, and he works so well with everything, guys. This card was probably one of the hardest to get a hold of back when it was really rare and it was like a $40 card. And when I finally had one handed to me one day, I was so thankful for it, and that's where I started this deck from, was having that one Totally Awesome. And I won a couple tournaments with that one Totally Awesome. The name itself is just great. Pretty much you're going to use 2 cat sharks, and you use the cat sharks in conjunctions with your Totally Awesome. Cat shark is, you require 2 aqua monsters, and you're going to use cat shark to beef up Toad. You're going to make him big and strong with that big 4400. And I know that so well because that's always the play. You summon Miss Starboy, then you get Toad out there, and then you get Cat Shark. You detach from Cat, you pump up Toad, you make him big and strong, and he just beats down the enemy. That's been my favorite play with this deck, guys. You just make Toad awesome, and you get 2 Toads out there, and you keep pumping them up, and you keep having your Cat Shark help him out. They work in conjunction with each other. Pretty much Cat Shark, while it has XYZ material, it can't be destroyed by battle. Yeah, it doubles the original attack in defense of a monster. For the Paleozoics, I run 2 Opabinas. Opabina allows you to activate your Paleozoic traps from your hand, which is great. 2 Paleozoic Animacorylus, and Animacorylus is 3 or more level 2s, and he's your attacker. He's your attacking XYZ, and you can excavate the top cards of your deck. It just has a lot of great abilities. You can target 1 card on the field and destroy it. To round off the level 2s, I run 1 Sky Cavalier Centaur and 1 45 Crumble Logos to Prophet of Demolition. And that's just for them sticky situation, guys. Constellar Pleiades for the artifacts, and then you overlay into Plotomy. And that's it for the extra deck, guys. I really hope y'all enjoyed this video. This has been my Paleozoic Toad deck. If y'all ever see me at a tournament, one of the 3 decks I'll have is this deck here. It's probably one of my favorites. If y'all will, hit that like and subscribe button. I'm going to keep doing more deck builds, and I really hope y'all like this one. And remember, you don't have to do it like I do. Give me suggestions. I'd love to hear y'all's thoughts on it. But until next time, Kolestar11 out.